This is my audition for Slave Wilson. This is without a word of a lie how it happened. And I looked at David Rappaport and I said, is this part of the scene? And he said, I think you just choked him out.
Greetings everyone. In a previous video, I visited Athens DomeCon in Athens, the center of historical Greece. But in this video, we visit Thessaloniki, the art and cultural capital of historical Macedonia region. Until 100 years ago, Thessaloniki was a predominantly Jewish city and part of the Ottoman Empire. But throughout the centuries, it's been under the control of conquerors, crusaders, empires, gods, apostles, anarchists, Normans, Venetians, Bulgarians, zealots. Paul the Apostle preached in the city in the 1st century in the Bible. The 9th century saints Cyril and Methodius, the inventors of the Cyrillic alphabet, are from Thessaloniki. Ataturk, the founder of modern-day Turkey, is from the city, as well as the Young Turk movement. In recent times, Thessaloniki is the second largest city in Greece and a very busy port, as it has been throughout history. Many historical agreements have been signed at the famous Customs House at the end of this lovely boardwalk. So-called The Comic Con took place at the Ioannis Velidis Convention Center, just a few steps from famous landmarks such as the White Tower and the statue of Alexander the Great. This was the 5th edition of the Comic Con to take place at the massive modern venue. The standard array of merchandise and book vendors was complemented by conference rooms hosting guest speakers and Q&As. Also well represented were many cosplay organizations, especially Star Wars related. But I came to talk to comic artists, so let's get right to it.
Hi, I'm Fotini Tirovouzi, and I go by Peng as an artist. I actually work as a game designer. I am a concept artist, animator, pretty much anything you name it. In 2D, I don't do 3D yet. I like this one. I would like it with color. But it's nice because it tells a story. It's a witch with a very hungry frog, and she has to be somewhere, so she's kind of like not very happy that she has to feed her frog, and she's feeding him eyeballs because it's a monster frog. I'm trying to make more narrative work because I've been working with characters so far, mostly. I love creating characters, designing clothes, accessories, all those things.
Are you an author as well? Are you a writer as well?
Yeah, I do write some. I have an award in poetry. I do, yes. But I'm working on a sci-fi comic right now. It's not around here.
What's that about?
Do you know the Turtle Island myth? The giant turtle that appears as an island and eats sailors?
Yes.
In space. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I just like myths. It does not have to be like a very complicated plot. I just like the irrationality and the imaginativeness of folklore. Thessaloniki, yeah. Oh, we have a great community here. There's a lot of artists that they're nice to see every time they come here. It's a very nice kind of patchwork of old and new. And so it does have a magical thing that I like. Especially the upper city with the castles and the forests and everything. This is all about the city, this one. It's the view from my apartment. No, this particular one.
Okay.
And it's about how you can, in all the gray of the city, just take some moments to yourself and relax. I try to be more body positive in my work and explore more aspects of femininity. It's important to have that in artwork and to show it. And we as a female artists, it's most important that we do it and we tell our narrative and our point of view, because nobody else is going to see it and nobody else is going to portray what we feel. I'm trying to take the witch as a rebel and create metaphor for modern women that can rebel and be themselves. I'm actually working on a secret project it's a collaborative art book about women. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to have artists that have a personal viewpoint on the subject and that they can create very beautiful works. Irene is one of them, actually. Yes,
she's going. Super excited. Hi guys.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Irene.
And you're...
And I'm really bad at interviews.
The name is Vasilis Lolos and I do weird comics. I did a lot of work in the US market and now I'm winging it behind the scenes, behind the trenches.
What do you mean?
These are the trenches, like the European Comic-Con, Greek comic convention circuit. It's pretty much the trenches. It's what I know, it's what I do, it's what I always did. Like even when I was working in the US, I organized and self-published an anthology that managed to get an Eisner Award. Plug.
Congratulations.
2008.
What's that book?
It was called Five. I actually went off and did my own thing. I decided to focus on my art and be an artiste. Painting, drawing, storytelling. This came out, which is true stories from my childhood. It's like a juvenile delinquency, Molotov cocktails, being extorted into going into dates with girls that it was an interesting time, and it's an interesting book. This is my first in Thessaloniki, and I usually do the Comic Dome festival in Athens, Greece. But I used to, when I lived in the US, I used to hit every con like it was. I was living out of a suitcase. It was fun. It was awesome, but it was also tiring. This is interesting. Got a bit of Misfits, a bit of Bill Hicks as a starting off point. It's about an ecoborg that is left behind a dead planet. He's there, roaming the earth, trying to find things to make life interesting. And it's more like a visual, existential poem. I come from a punk DIY type of background, so like getting like ink ejecta, like this stuff, it's always very interesting because it adds up to the stuff that is already there, I think. My comics is kind of like preaching to the choir, so like people that are into this stuff, they're already converted into this stuff. It's not quite working as it used to, because I used to work for Marvel, DC and all that stuff. And the commercial work has a value, and you get to chime in to iconic characters and this and that and all that stuff. But for me personally, I'm really into like creating my own thing with my own influences. I mean, financial stability is nice, but your psyche and your own stability, depending on who and what you are.